Well, hello, everybody. It's another edition of Chris and Eric Talk. We are live on Twitch on the CKCC online channel, and we're also recording this for the CKCC Video YouTube channel, as always. Hi, Eric.
Hey, how's it going? How are
Pretty
things?
good, man. How's it going with you?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah. I see you
First off,
haven't.
I want to apologize for not being here last week. You weren't feeling well, but I didn't know that. I was dealing with some other things, the aftermath of the hurricane.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. How's everybody doing, by the way?
they're good.
Good.
However, the rest of the neighborhood is kind of like they were on the for lack of a better term because there's no hills in Florida. They were on the top of the hill, quote unquote, in their neighborhood. Um, so the water only got into the garage.
I heard a
Uh,
stat once that said that if Space Mountain was a real mountain, it would be the third tallest mountain in Florida.
that's probably accurate.
Hey, Claremont has a hill.
Yeah,
That one part of 27 goes uphill.
yeah, that's it.
There's a hill there.
There's
One.
like it's hilly
Probably
in
didn't
certain
flood.
places, but yeah, no. What I found out is that like that entire neighborhood doesn't have like flood insurance because it's like in a no flood zone, so nobody has it,
Oh no, and then it flooded.
and then it flooded.
Oof.
And then lucky for my parents though, the way that it's set up is like the garage is on the ground floor, but then there's a foundation that actually lifts the house up slightly, like 4 or 5 inches. So you literally have to step up to get into the house, but those 4 or 5 inches save them from the water
Yeah.
getting into the home. So
I'm trying to think if it was like a joke on Futurama. Probably not. It was probably actually a Simpsons joke where like the house can just rise up. Like you hit a button and your house just rises. So you get
well,
out of the flood area entirely.
isn't that? I feel like there's houses like that in like Norway or something like that. I can't remember which country it was that I was watching that the their houses are like boats, but they're not boats. They're built on foundations that have poles. So when the water level rises, the poles just slide up and down to give way for the house to go up and down so it doesn't ever get flooded.
That's
And I'm
brilliant.
just like, that's fucking brilliant.
You think like Copenhagen has something like that? Because Denmark, if one of the dikes breaks.
It might be Denmark, actually.
Okay.
I just get all the white countries confused. So,
You are forgiven for mixing up the Danish and the Norwegians.
yeah.
You are forgiven for that. I mean, Finland, Sweden, and Norway are all like those strips in a row, and then Denmark is like the little tiny thing on the top of
Yeah.
Germany. What was it? It was South Park where they're just like, oh yes, we Danes are like the Canadians of Europe. Nobody really knows where we are, and they don't bother us.
Yeah, that's actually kind of funny. I feel like I should start watching South Park again.
Yes.
I took a hiatus from it, but now there's like really nothing to watch other than like Bob's Burgers.
The answer is yes.
Okay.
The answer is yes. It's South Park, so yes. And in because HBO Max has missing episodes because now every show has missing episodes because of controversy. So make sure you do look those up. You don't want to miss out on those. They're such good episodes.
Controversy.
I hate that stuff. You watch
I just
South
can't
Park
believe.
and you're upset that there's controversy?
When did we get so sensitive?
I don't know. The internet, I think. I think it's the internet. No, I actually do. Um, oh, Dan says he
You
can
think the
hardly
internet's
hear me.
made us sensitive? What?
Dan said he can hardly hear me. Oh, I apologize if I am not coming through properly, Dan. So I do apologize to everybody if the audio was a little weird at the beginning here.
I never see any comments.
I'm going to fix that. You know what? I actually am noticing that my audio levels are surprisingly low.
They're dipping?
Yeah. I just noticed that. Huh. Okay.
Did it auto switch on you?
It may have, yeah. I just adjusted the gain on the microphone, And I can see my levels are doing pretty good now. That is weird. I wonder why.
You plugged in your headset.
Probably. I just wonder why it was like that. You know why? Because I moved the microphone downstairs to use it for the PS5 stream, and I probably had to mess with the settings, and I didn't exactly fix them properly. So hopefully that is better. My apologies to everybody. We're live, pal. Can't fix it in post. Sorry.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live. Speaking of everything going on here. All right, so the first 5 minutes of the show were a little weird on my end, but Dan, if you can hear me better, please let me know. I'd appreciate that. Don't just sit there in the comments and not say anything. So
But
I want
if he can't hear you, and that's why he's not.
That would be hysterical.
Dan,
No, he said it was better.
If everything sounds
said it
good,
was
let
better.
us know.
Well,
Dan
that would have
fucking
answered my
anything.
question, to be fair. To be fair, that would have answered the question. So, yeah, I'm off to a great start. We take 1 week off, and this is what happens. Okay.
Yeah, that's typically what happens.
All right, so I has an announcement for the future of CKCC Radio, the podcasting channel, over on the Podbean. So I'm going to be making a change to the channel. It's not going to affect anything currently on the channel, except for the Nerd Table. Would be the only thing actually technically affected. So I've had, God, if I actually count them, I'm going to upset myself. I've had a lot of podcasting concepts that I've wanted to do, and I've never really launched any of them properly. And then when I created CKCC Radio, the whole idea was to put everything in one spot. But if I did all of my ideas, the channel would be completely oversaturated with my own content. And I didn't want to do that because we have so much other great content on there right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch a second network. It's going to be the partner network to CKCC Radio. The only difference is it's going to be only content hosted by me. So I'm still going to accept new podcasts on the regular channel, but all of my ridiculous ideas will go on a different channel entirely, so I don't saturate everything up. And I think I'm going to do a lot of stuff still here on YouTube. I don't know about the live aspect. This right here, live, has been a lot of fun, and I'm going to take the audio versions of this show and put them on that channel. So that is one thing I'm going to do. So all of those concepts that I've had over the years, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one channel, and then every episode could be something from one of those concepts. So the Nerd Table, where we just have a nerdy roundtable discussion. We'll do that 1 week. Movie reviews. Dan and I used to do Talkin' Talkies together. We'd review movies. I kind of want to do movie reviews again. So that'll be another episode. It'll just be a movie review. Some of these game reviews that I've wanted to do for a long time. That would be another episode. But then some of the other concepts I had, like I wanted to do Chris Ranks the Universe and rank stuff. I think I'll put that stuff on there too. And then some of the stuff I used to do on my blog. Top 10s and reviews of other stuff. Interviews with people. Kind of like what we were doing early on here. So I had a show called Chris O'Mealy's Blogcast. And I liked that title a lot. That I also came up with a title. It was like Com Corner. C-O-M, Chris O'Mealy. And corner was like my corner of the internet. Com Corner. And I'll put everything on there. My one-man show where I just, that way if I just want to release an episode where I just want to talk about something, like the Super Mario trailer, and just make that an episode, then I can do that. And that way I'm not bogging down anything else on CKCC Radio. So CKCC Radio will remain exactly the way it is. The only difference is Nerd Table and anything else that was hosted by me will move to that channel. And that's literally going to be the only difference, is if I'm hosting it, it'll be in one spot. Everybody else will be in the other spot. That way they get the spotlight over there, and I don't bog them down with all of my ridiculous crap that's in my brain. And there's too much of it. So, one thing I kind of want to do with the Nerd Table is we were kind of doing it episodically. We're really close to episode 100. I think we're up to like 97 because we were doing like the 90 reviews. I want to get us to episode 100 on CKCC Radio. So there's 100 episodes available. And then I'm going to do Nerd Table roundtables with you and Dan and move that to my new channel. And instead of numbering the episodes, we'll kind of topic them. So we want to have a nerd rant about Deadpool, for example. I've just foreshadowed a few things we're going to talk about today, by the way. The Mario trailer and Deadpool. We can do that. So that's something I'm working on. And I'm probably going to launch that after the new year. And then on CKCC Radio, you guys can still listen to Jeff Trelowitz's shows. He's got 3 of them. Ranking Tracks, Real Paranormal Talk, and Movies. I think it's just Movies by... Oh my God, Jeff, I'm sorry. I actually forgot the name of the show because I'm really behind on everything. He's going to get so upset with me. Sorry, buddy. He's got 3 shows there. The A Show is still going to run. They're in their new season right now. In fact, we're recording this on a Sunday evening, but some of you guys will probably hear this on Monday, and there'll be an all-new episode to listen to. It's actually going to be the tag team of Bo Storm, old GSW tag team I worked with, Shane Storm and Bo Nakota, and they're going to... I don't know what the card is they're going to debut. Matt just said it's a 1999 card. I don't know if it's WWF or WCW or ECW. I don't know what they're going to do, but I guess I'll find out when you guys do, when I hear the episode tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock.
Or, what year did it go from WWF to
WWE?
Yeah.
2002. May, 2002? I believe. Yeah. April or May of 2002. Because it was right after the WCW buyout. The WrestleMania that year was still WWF, and the follow-up pay-per-view, which was the April pay-per-view, was still WWF. And then I remember it was the May pay-per-view, it was WWE. So somewhere in that time frame, it switched. One of my favorite things that happened in that time frame was because they bought the 2 companies, they merged the 2 world titles, and Chris Jericho won them. So he spent 3 months as champion carrying around 2 championship belts. And he either have them both on his shoulders or he might like wear one and put the other on his shoulder. Then Triple H won the titles and they merged them into one belt, an undisputed belt, made a whole new belt. And he goes, what a rib. I had to walk around in airport luggage and carry-ons and crap with 2 belts. But as soon as the son-in-law of Vince McMahon gets the friggin' titles, they made him 1 belt. So all he had to carry around.
It's funny.
Stuff like that makes me laugh. So, yep. So there's your announcement. Yeah, and as Dan just pointed out in the chat, the WCW belt was heavy. It was really heavy because it was a big gold belt. They actually called it the big gold belt.
Was it like? I mean, I'm assuming it was gold plated and not actual.
Not actual gold. I'm watching your cats fight, just so you know. Like I'm watching them smack each other around. I'm sorry. We're talking about wrestling, and now there's a match happening behind you. Oh, here we go. Live entertainment.
Oh my God, they're really going at it too.
If anybody is listening to the audio version of this show, which will be up on my channel later, I apologize for the great visuals you're missing. But just go to YouTube and you can always watch the YouTube clips. Oh, that's the other thing. Great. I will still put my YouTube stuff on the CKCC Video channel. I'm not going to make a whole new YouTube channel. That would just be a little too much. But I'll playlist everything so it doesn't. Well, that's what I'm kind of doing anyway. Everything is kind of playlisted. So,
Kiri, stop fucking with Kitty.
No, this is very entertaining. I'm loving it. No kitties. Please keep fighting. Dance, puppets, dance. I know. It's like the pause of the action. Like you hit the pause button. They're both girls, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So they're.
You should have seen them when Yasha, the dog, was up here. Like Kiri, the one up top, just for no reason will go up to Yasha and smack her and then like make the dog run away. And then today, Kitty walked up to the dog, sniffed her, everything was fine. And then the dog sniffed her, and then she was like, that's enough, and then smacked her in the face.
Kiri's just testing Kitty right now. Like she's kind of just doing like the little paw, like I'm gonna keep pawing you slowly and see if you react.
Yeah.
That's what Perry does to Lily.
But like it's wild to me how Kitty wins these fights by just staring. She'll just continue to stare and make Kiri feel so uncomfortable that she ends up leaving like she's doing right now.
I mean, I'm just saying I've lost many fights by just being stared at. So I'm just saying, like
Yeah, okay, all
it
right.
happens. It happens. I get it. Before we get too deep into our topics this week, Eric, I promised you a new Vince McMahon story. You ready for this?
Yes, I am.
It's a nice, simple one too. So, Vince McMahon hates giraffes.
Elaborate.
It's only a one sentence response, but it's all you need. Because he said, and I quote, "Why should an animal that big resign itself to just eating plants?" He does. He doesn't understand the concept of how herbivores work.
He Is Vince McMahon a real human being, or is he an alien sent down to kind of just
Observe us.
survey, just observe humanity and try to blend in?
So,
Because like the more you tell me about Vince McMahon stories, the more he just sounds like this could be from Invader Zim. This could be like you're just telling me that he's Zim, basically.
yeah. Except he doesn't really have a gur, but
I mean, doesn't he though? Like Triple H or something?
maybe Shane. Probably his son. Yeah, dude, like, okay, so I'm reading a book written by an old WWE writer. His name is Brian Gewertz. He actually tells you how to pronounce his name in the book, and I still forgot. Because he goes, yeah, I don't know why it's spelled that way either. It looks like it says Gewertz, but it's Gewertz, or something like that. And it's an interesting book because he was one of the first Hollywood writers that they hired to write wrestling television, which was a huge step in that direction that they wanted to go, and they wanted television writers. And here's a guy who wrote television who comes in, in his mid-20s, and now he's sitting at the head table with Vince McMahon, and he looks like he's 12, so nobody's taking him seriously. But now he works for The Rock's production company because him and The Rock are really close. And he started writing in like 99-ish. So it was like right around the height of when wrestling was really hot, and then the buyout happened and everything. But Rock was one of his favorite people to work with, so he's got tons of stories about that. So he's just writing about writing, basically. It's his experience working there and how bizarre it was to work in that environment. And the chapter I just read with the giraffe story, which is just a one-line thing, but it just stands out. He's like, all the stories you've heard about Vince McMahon are true. He hates sneezing because you should be in control of your body. He hates sleeping. He sees it as a sign of weakness. One time we were on the airplane and I fell asleep and I was startled awake by Vince, this close to my face, screaming at me to wake up. And how he had his earbuds in and was listening to Weezer and realized that Vince got upset because he wasn't participating in the conversation, and then he thought Undertaker got upset, and he was so terrified that he ran up to Undertaker at the hallway and apologized to him profusely, and Taker just looks at him and goes, "What? I wasn't mad? Trust me, if I was mad, you know it." Like, the stories are just, they're all true. And I'm like, they have to be true, because nobody on the planet, even a Hollywood writer, is not creative enough to make up stories about Vince McMahon.
Oh, hold on. Kiri, you want to come up here?
I thought that was Kitty.
Oh my god. No, Kitty is now up there. Kiri is down.
Oh, did they switch places while I wasn't looking? That's awesome.
Correct.
That's awesome.
Kitty wanted to stare down, so Kiri left. And now Kiri can't go back up there because Kitty is on her throne.
Boy, I sure wish I had a cat to cuddle with. Yeah, that's not going to work.
Well, they're not cuddling with me. She just wanted to say, hey, I'm down here. I'm going to bother you.
Yeah, I would like attention, please. Thank you. Alrighty. So, yeah, that's the Vince McMahon portion of this shit. There's like a Vince McMahon portion of every show at this point.
It's
like,
just he's a wild human being.
He's a unique person. Like,
very. It's almost like he didn't grow up around people.
he really kind of almost didn't, it seemed like. And I understand, like, his drive for success and everything because of how successful his father was, and he wanted to emulate his father, and he was raised in a trailer in North Carolina, and he was beaten by his stepdad. Like, he, at one point they didn't even have running water. So I understand, like, that drive for success, and he's a total workaholic, and everybody was convinced that he was going to do it till he dropped dead, and it was a legal scandal that did him in, which nobody saw that one coming, so... Now the new era's here, and I legitimately wonder what he's doing with his life, because everybody's confirmed he doesn't have any hobbies. All he ever did was work and work out. So I'm sure he's probably still super jacked at 77 or 78 or however how old he is now.
He's probably going to open up like an MMA fighting ring or some sort of
great. And everybody would
boxing thing.
I mean, he tried doing a bodybuilding organization in the early 90s, and he wanted everybody to have characters. And the thing was, it didn't take off because watching bodybuilding is boring as fuck. At least an MMA fight would be interesting. That was another thing he told CM Punk told this story. He said, they couldn't do anything barbaric with UFC stuff because he goes, Punk, did you hear? They're gonna start having women fight in the octagon. And Punk's like, yup. And I bet you it's going to be the hottest thing ever. You'll see. And, well, we all know who was right about that one. So that's... Yeah, dude. Speaking out of touch, I want to address some of the feedback from the Super Mario Brothers movie trailer. And I'm not going to attack anybody personally for their negative opinions, but I'm upset at how the opinions are going, because they're going in the direction that I was afraid they were going to go in, and it needs to be addressed. So first things first, I want to break this trailer down. Eric, have you seen the trailer?
I have seen the trailer.
Okay, perfect. So first things first, I'm going to do this kind of... We'll start off with the obvious stuff at the beginning. Bowser looks awesome.
Yes, he does.
And I didn't know Jack Black was going to work this well as Bowser.
It literally, the moment he spoke, it just felt like he was meant to play Bowser.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, yep, that was the correct choice. And I'm convinced when we hear Charlie Day's Luigi, I'm going to know that's the correct choice too, because Charlie Day's always the right answer. All right, so Bowser, we can agree is a pretty big positive here. I do like the humor that they threw in right away, where they're fighting the penguins. And they're just whipping snowballs at Bowser, and he's just standing there, getting hit with snowballs.
And the penguins are like, do you fold?
No. It just burns the castle down. And then, all right, so next thing I want to talk about, the visuals look phenomenal.
Yeah.
Bowser's Fortress is literally a lava land. It's literally World 8 from Super Mario Brothers 3. That's his airship is like his castle land.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So the visuals look awesome. Bowser looks great. And the Mushroom Kingdom looks phenomenal. And I know that's Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. And that's going to be amazing. Because that's another one they got right. So we got to. So now we can address the thing everybody's complaining about. The Chris Pratt voicing Mario. So, Eric, first, let me get your thoughts on that, positive or negative.
Okay. I am not on the bandwagon where he should sound like a racist Italian.
Okay. That's good, because I'm going to address that.
However, we only heard one line, man. So, like, I need to hear more. But the one line that I did hear just sound very low effort.
Yeah.
I still think it's going to be great.
Well, and he said in interviews that he puts a spin on the Mario voice, so I have a feeling we haven't heard everything yet.
Right. So, and just like, he's going to make it his own, and we need to see the whole story, and we can't just judge it off of this one thing.
Right.
But it was unnerving to me. But I feel like because we all know the classic "It's a me," like, you know, so like we're expecting that, and we already know it isn't going to be that.
Okay, fun fact / trivia quiz. When was Charles Martinet's first appearance as Mario? Do you know this?
No, I do not.
It was not Mario 64. It was actually Mario's Game Gallery on the PC, where you could play Go Fish and Checkers and DDR.
So not a Mario game.
It's not DDR. That was a different thing. But yeah, it was yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was a Mario game, but it wasn't a Mario game. It was a game featuring Mario.
Other games where Mario was playing these other games.
Yes, and that was the first Charles Martinet role. And wow.
But I mean, it's such an iconic thing, but I need to see how he makes it his own. Like, every actor needs to take their role and turn it into them, or find an in between.
And
Jack
I feel like Black people as Bowser.
Jack Black as the thing was, right? Like, Jack Black could have just used his normal voice and Bowser would have become Jack Black and vice versa. Like, that's how, like, Jack Black with voices.
So I have
awesome. Hey, we're just not used to Chris Pratt as a voice actor.
Well, but we are, if you saw the Lego movie.
Yeah, he is in things, but not as much as like Jack Black, because Jack Black as a person is a voice actor.
You guys out there want to hear a fun behind the scenes story from the Nerd Table? We were having this discussion before a show one day, and I remember you said something. I don't remember what the context was, but you're like, "Man, wouldn't it be so cool if Jack Black appeared in a Weird Al music video?" And I immediately was like, "Oh, hold the phone, Eric. I got something to show you." And I pulled up the Tacky video.
Oh my God, it was so fucking good, dude.
Shot in one take, one continuous camera angle, and it's Al. And he got his friends. He got Kristen Schaal and Eric Stonestreet and Margaret Cho. And then the main event is Jack Black, who just comes in with that ball of energy, and he's dancing like this. Like, so over at the top eccentric. And then one of the comments on the YouTube video is like, so Jack Black wasn't actually in the video. They just showed up at the theater and shot him during his regular day and then edited it in or something like that. And they're like, and that was also what he wore to the studio or something. Like, it was really funny. But I love anything that's shot in one continuous take like that. That's really good job. But yes, there we go. I like how you're Lion Kinging her. As she pick her up.
Yeah, basically.
And she's not going to stay.
No, she'll hang out for a little bit.
Okay.
She'll jump now.
On the latest...
If I give her too many pets, sensory overload, and then she'll jump. She'll just stay on my lap now.
There you go. On this episode of Podcats, the other one's just sleeping.
She's going to chill right there now.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's okay.
I want one too. There's 3 of them in the damn house. Not one of them cares right now. Okay, so let me address some of the Chris Pratt feedback that I've heard. Okay, A, if you just don't like Chris Pratt and you're just tired of him being in everything, because I've heard that as an argument. Okay, that's fine. I get it. That was I started hearing that a lot when Jurassic World came out. Because I remember that was the thing, because that was when Parks and Rec was still pretty hot, Lego Movie had come out, and Pratt was starting to be in everything. So I remember that was a big complaint that I remember hearing was Chris Pratt is being overexposed. And I think Guardians was still a year away at the time, I think, but I think he'd already been rumored or cast or something. So I remember that distinctly around the first Jurassic World. That was a big argument. Too much Chris Pratt. Okay, I can get behind that. So I can understand that. It should have been Charles Martinet. Heard that one a lot. No, and Charles Martinet will tell you flat out because he can't do the voice that much. He would destroy his voice box. He just can't. He's admitted that before multiple times. Mario works in short spurts for the accent that he does for it. And I'm sorry, guys, but I refuse to believe any one of you could sit through a 90-minute movie with that voice saying every single line And then I did hear somebody say something like, well, what if Martinet just toned it down, toned the accent down, and just did it for like the Mario catchphrases, like "Let's a go," or "It's a me." Okay, I can kind of see that, but again, he's gonna be in it in some kind of a cameo role anyway. So, and like you said, let's give this a shot before we completely just poop on the voice itself.
You know who I would have loved to see as Mario? And it would have been like fucking hilarious.
Bill Murray.
No.
Okay.
Not a comedian.
Okay.
Not a comedian. Jason Statham. just you have, because everybody's expecting it to be like really, really funny, right? So how about if the main character has this hardcore and everybody around him is comedic gold except the main character? It just makes the main character that much funnier.
That is actually pretty funny. You know what's one thing I've never really understood legitimately? And I understand that like some people are just really good at faking accents. But why do they always cast people in roles where they have to put on an accent? Why not just cast somebody with the accent that you want? I mean, I get it. Yeah. Some people are really good at that, but like, I never really understood that. Like, when they cast John Boyega as Finn, the Stormtrooper, I'd never really seen him in anything before. I never really heard of him. I think I'd heard the name, but I never really, like, knew anything he was in, so I didn't know he was British.
Yeah. Oh, you know who freaks me out the most?
Dr. House?
Yes.
House, how'd I know that's what you were going to say, too? Because that's what everybody always says when this conversation comes up.
Yeah, I remember the first time I heard him speak normally, I thought to myself, this racist motherfucker. And then I realized, wait, he's British.
Yeah.
He's doing an American accent, and it sounds more American than my fucking accent. So, like, bravo.
Yeah, bravo. Absolutely, bravo. I get a kick out of stuff like that, and it always made me wonder, like, why. But, again, it's not my decision to make, so... You know? I mean, why cast Robert Downey Jr. as a black guy? But that was hysterical.
That was hysterical.
Yes.
Tropic Thunder. It's funny is because it's just like, obviously we know it is never okay to do blackface, but that was pretty gold. That was gold.
But if anybody's going to get away with it, it's going to be that type of comedian in that type of comedy movie.
Yeah.
What
do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people?
I saw something that cracked me up. It was something on Facebook where it's like, you post too much offensive comment, post something from the good old days, and the person goes, okay, and they posted a screenshot from Blazing Saddles. One of the funniest but also most offensive movies ever made.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Because Mel Brooks can get away with that stuff. Okay, so back to the Martinet argument. I hear myself echoing. Ha ha! I just wanted to hear myself do that.
My bad.
That's okay. I needed to hear myself do that when I heard the echo. So I've heard that argument again. The one that actually kind of upsets me, and it doesn't upset me because people don't either know this or remember it, but it upsets me because it makes me realize I'm old, is when people are like, Mario always had an Italian accent. The first time he ever spoke, it was in Mario 64. I'm like, nah, you guys don't remember the Super Mario Brothers Super Show where he was Super Brooklyn, Captain Lou Albano. And then I realized, God, I'm old because I realized the people who were saying that, I realized what their ages were, and I was like, shit.
When did the plumber thing happen? When did Mario become a plumber?
That was... I think that was the original Mario Brothers arcade game, not Super Mario Brothers, the platformer, but the arcade game before that was him and Luigi were established as plumbers because that's why they were in the sewers with the pipes. And that's where the plumber thing came from, because Mario and Luigi were also in Wrecking Crew, but they were Demolition then. So I think the plumber aspect came from the arcade game, and when that transferred over to Super Mario Brothers, I guess they kept the plumber aspect so they could use the pipes for the warping purposes.
Guess.
That's my best guess without actually looking it up. But if I kind of know my Mario history, I think that's where it came from. And I could be wrong. Somebody can correct me, but as far as I can remember, that's where that came from. Yeah, and they were plumbers. They were Italian plumbers, but they were from Brooklyn. And so when the Mario Super Show came out, they had the New York accents and everything. And nobody had a problem with that. In fact, I remember when I first heard Mario's voice in Super Mario 64, I was kind of like, ugh. I'm like, why does he sound like this?
I just feel like people just assume Mario has a thick accent of some sort.
Yeah.
And I really need it to be a country accent.
Which would make the least sense. That would make less
Southern
sense.
drawl.
That makes less sense than Chris Pratt, but okay. So that's basically what it boils down to. But I think, like with everything else, you hear the boycott talk all the time. Now, I've boycotted plenty of things before. I remember I wanted to boycott the 2016 Ghostbusters with the all-female cast. And I remember I was just annoyed that they were trying to remake something that I love so much, and they were trying to just make it all-female because that was like the it thing to do at the time. Then I watched it and I enjoyed it. I didn't love it, but I enjoyed it. I still, to this day, boycott the Nightmare on Elm Street remake because I don't want to see... They're like, oh, but there's more Freddy backstory, and they make him a pedophile, so he's actually hated. And I'm like, but I like Freddy. And it also wasn't Robert Englund playing him, and I didn't want to see that. And but then I was told by multiple people that it's not good, and I'm not missing anything, so I've just never seen it. So there's that 50-50 thing, and of course you got the people that are like, well, I will not see this because of that one line from Chris Pratt. It's like, yeah, it's a teaser trailer. If you're not going to see it because of that, you weren't going to see it in the first place. So that doesn't really tell me much there.
It's such a filled cast.
Yeah.
That I'm going to end up seeing it. I'm going to end up loving it.
Now, do you know what my concern is with this?
What?
It's Illumination. So I'm really, really worried there's going to be too many fart jokes. Because Illumination loves their fart jokes. I loved the Sing movies. Both of them. Sing 1 and Sing 2. I thought they were fantastic animated movies. Two of my favorite animated movies, even. Like, if I actually started listing out animated movies, they'd probably show up on there somewhere. The one joke in the first Sing movie that drives me nuts is when he's doing the auditions and the buffalo who does the Crazy Town song is trying to run out of the studio and he's farting because he's nervous and it's just fart, 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 fart. And I'm like, they really couldn't get that far without it. At least in Despicable Me, it was supposed to be a dart gun. And they don't actually say it. And I'm like, okay, you know what? That's funny because it's the joke they got in. So, but yeah, Illumination really likes fart jokes. I'm really worried there's going to be one and it's going to take me out of the movie. That's my concern. Will that be a valid concern? I don't know. And then the one other complaint that I heard that made me laugh was people are like, what a missed opportunity. They should have released it on March 10th. And I'm like, God, Mario Day is barely a thing. Why does everybody want that to be a thing? Because it spells Mario. It was like when people were complaining about Obi-Wan not being released on May the 4th. They're like, what a missed opportunity. I'm like, God, no. They're releasing it on the anniversary of the original movie. That's way more of an important date than May the 4th. I understand people like want to make up this stuff and have fun with it, but like, it's literally something that was made up by people on the internet. So
everybody has an opinion.
Yeah, but you know what? At the same time, give it another month. The longer it takes to come out, the more the odds go up that it's going to be good quality. Until you pass the Duke Nukem Forever threshold, which it's thankfully not there yet. But
oh my God.
I just said that to pop you because I knew that was
Oh.
going to get you. How long was that in development for?
Did it ever release? Still.
I think eventually, I think it was like 14 years or something crazy. Like,
Yeah, it's something stupid. It wasn't great.
and it wasn't great, yeah. And that's what happens. So, good God.
It just, I don't know. I feel like maybe if they release a few more trailers where he's just talking to other people, like Deadpool. Want to talk about that trailer?
Let's talk about that trailer.
Oh my God. What a great fucking trailer. First off, talking about making the role your own. Ryan Reynolds made Deadpool. Like I can't picture anybody else playing him other than Ryan Reynolds. The same way that I can't picture anyone playing Tony Stark other than Robert Downey Jr.
What about Wolverine?
Well, okay, I was holding off on that, but like,
yeah, no, but that's where the point is, right? Like,
yes, like Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. I don't care if he says he's not making another one. Clearly, he wants to make another one.
He lied.
Oh my God! I mean, it's kind of hard to say I'll never make another one before they show you how much money they're gonna pay you.
Hey, you're not wrong.
Like, I am never doing that. How much?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That would be like, well, we've had this discussion before because I've had friends in Florida. They said, what would it take? You said you'd never move back to Florida. And I said $100,000. Six-figure salary. That's a minimum six-figure salary. That is the requirement to get me to actually move back to Florida. And they're like, so what if somebody... So you're saying if somebody offered you a six-figure position tomorrow, I'm like, I'd be packing my bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll live in Florida for a six-figure job. Well, what would you be doing? Six figures. You already answered that. Six figures.
Whatever it takes to make six figures a year.
Yes.
And I know that there's job security.
I have something funny about that. Let's after the Deadpool trailer, we'll talk about that. Okay, so go back to the trailer.
The Deadpool trailer. The fact that like this is the most effective and low budget way to release a fucking movie trailer. It is just a dude who is like, hey, Deadpool. Like, that's basically all he had to say.
That's all he had to say.
And then we're all like fucking wild for it. I don't think there was a single negative thing.
In the comments, Dan wrote trailer with quotation marks, like trailer.
Trailer. Right. Like, there was no trailer. It was just an announcement. It was Ryan going, hey, Deadpool movie's coming out, and I got this fucker to play Wolverine. And that was it for the first one.
That's all you needed.
Oh. And then the second one came out.
Yes.
Where he's just like, well, this is what's going to happen in the movie. And then they're like, go in silence, and they're like playing random shit. Oh my God.
You know what would be great? If they just played like random clips, like stock clips, but they're actually spoiling the movie, and there's like, it's like related to, you know, like, you ever seen those things where it's like spoilers presented without context? Like,
yes.
Like when Multiverse of Madness came out, and one of the pictures was just a thing of blue spaghetti. and I'm like, yeah, because I would have had no idea what that meant, but I've seen the movie and I know exactly what that means. Like, they should, and who would do something like that? Who would make a trailer like that?
Definitely Ryan. Yeah.
Definitely Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool.
Jesus. But like, I'm so excited for that movie, and then it's officially part of the MCU.
Yep. Which means Hugh Jackman's Wolverine's officially part of the MCU.
Right? And in the third trailer, they show him in the yellow jumpsuit.
And that's when you flipped out.
And I was like, get the fuck out of here.
So did the ending of Logan just not happen, or...
I don't know, but multiverse, right? So it doesn't fucking matter now.
You know what? You're absolutely right about that. Because wasn't there like... Oh, Logan takes place in 2029. Okay, so yeah. So he is still alive. This is probably a meme that I'm now envisioning as something that actually happened, but it was some kind of a dialogue about the whole multiverse thing, and they're just like, so people could be alive in other dimensions and blah blah blah, and it was strongly hint. Oh no, it was Robert Downey Jr. responding to a tweet about that. And he's like, yeah, so these characters are still alive in other dimensions. And I remember people are like, don't fucking do this. Don't do this.
Oh my god.
Unless you're going to follow through with this, Mr. Downey. Don't do it. Don't do it.
What was it that, like, somebody made a meme about it, about the Spider-Man movie wasn't going to come out, right? Like when Sony and
Right.
Disney weren't getting along or whatever. And then apparently, like, there was a phone call made from Robert Downey Jr. saying, like, hey, you know, you're like splitting the family up and blah blah blah, and you should do it. And it got the movie played. And then somebody pointed out the Edith meme, where it's just like, even dead, I'm the hero.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, even when he's gone, he's no longer in the movie. He saved the fucking Marvel Cinematic Universe again. Oh my god, he was the perfect fucking hero. Tony Stark.
Yeah, so well, as Dan pointed out, getting a couple of them to show up for part of one movie is much more doable. And he's right.
Yeah.
But that's why a lot of people said the funeral scene in Endgame was like the most expensive scene ever shot in a movie, because everybody who was in there was making how much for that movie. And it's just one continuous shot of just every actor in one place.
Yeah. I'm surprised they did it that way. I feel like they should have been like, I don't know. I don't know how you would have gotten all those actors at one spot. Maybe like film it, but CGI splice them together. So like you film it while they're making another movie. That way they're already there. They're already standing. And then you just kind of superimpose them.
Did you hear that they told Tom Holland that they were shooting a wedding scene?
Of course. Oh my god.
Oh, Tom, don't ever.
I wouldn't have told him the ending either.
I would have told him anything. You're going to a wedding. Okay. Why is everybody dressed in black? It's black tie. Duh. Why is everybody sad? They're not sad. They're crying tears of happiness. Now just stare at the fucking lake, Tom.
I'm just sitting there. Like, think about it. Imagine literally being the only person who doesn't know what's going on in that scene. And you're just...
I so hope that when they actually shot that scene that he still didn't know. And I genuinely hope that, like, in his head, that's what was happening.
Yeah.
It's so crazy they got everybody in there too, and like, and it was really just it was just done to be like that good cast shot. Like, here's everybody who survived. I think that's pretty much what it was. But yeah, but a very expensive scene.
Everybody that survived. The only people who died really was just like Natasha, Tony, and Gamora, which she's in another Guardians movie, so I don't know what's going on with that.
Well, she came back to that timeline in Endgame, so
no, she didn't. She's the Soul Stone.
Yeah. I guess time travel's fucked.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll wait and see.
Hold a fucking second. There's 2 Soul Stones?
Yeah, I don't know anymore. See, here's the thing. As somebody who wants to become a writer, I'm never doing a time travel story. Because no.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult.
Right.
But you know who did it great? Back to the Future.
Great Scott. I love those movies. All 3 of them. 1 is the standout. 2, I think, is actually overrated a bit. It
You
fits,
think so?
it fits really well with one, but I just think that I like the rehash stuff, but I feel like getting that glimpse of the future, the actual future, was too much of a teaser. They didn't stick with it enough. I think I would have preferred that kind of a storyline instead of just being like, oh, look at Biff, he took over. But three I think is underappreciated because it's still
I
good.
feel 3 is underappreciated. It is my least favorite of the 3, though.
Yeah, mine
but
too.
It's not because,
but that doesn't take anything away from it at
right. I think the trilogy as a whole, it was great. I feel like 1 was good. I personally love 2, but it has nothing to do with the story. Because like hoverboards, dude, you got to see
The
the
whole
future
scene
and
is
flying
amazing.
cars. Yeah, so like that to me, like, I was a kid and everything, so it was fucking fantastic. Looking back at it, like the story is kind of like, okay, all right, calm down, Biff. Like,
watching 6 TVs at once. I mean,
this is the way of the
we
future.
do that now,
right?
Like I've got a 2 monitor setup.
Remember Texaco? Whatever happened to them? Are they still around?
But I mean, like I could literally do that right now because I've got a 2 monitor setup, a TV next to the computer, my phone, and my iPad. So I can do that. I can have screens everywhere.
Like technology progressed so fucking quickly just within the last 30 something years. Because if you were to go back to like 1985 and tell a computer scientist or anybody who works with the computers at the time that you're going to have 100 or maybe 1,000 times the power of computing power in your pocket.
This thing is more powerful than the computer that sent the freaking thing to the moon. What is flying around my room? That has to be cat hair. It's either
cat hair or a ghost.
Good luck. You know what? I'll take the ghost at this point because the cat hair is ridiculous in this house. All right, so I had something funny I wanted to follow up with you on Florida with. You ever do those? Those ridiculous quizzes where it's like, oh, this, you'll find your true soulmate and their name will start with blank.
Yeah,
this is where the rabbit hole starts, and it all leads to a Florida thing. So, so one of my friends was laughing, and she sends me the thing, and it's like, she goes, my soulmate's true name starts with C. So she goes, it's you. So we're joking about that because the screenshot, the letter was her husband's first name. And when I pulled up the screenshot of the thing, it said E. And I was like, oh, Eric's my soulmate. I have to take this quiz now, and this is going to be hysterical, and I'm going to send it to you when it's done because I think that's going to be funny, right? Well, no. You know what letter I got? It wasn't an E.
What letter did you get? A C?
So I've concluded I'm my own soulmate. So
I think it's C for cat. Just cat.
Don't predict my future. It's going to be a lot of them. Okay, so let's say that yes, I am my own soulmate. Okay, so let's do the astrological thing. My sign is Scorpio. Who am I most compatible with? Okay, the answers are Cancer, Capricorn, Virgo. Okay, what am I least compatible with? Scorpio. Well, shit. So I might be my own soulmate, but I'm not compatible with myself at all. Okay, and then here's where the last one comes in. It goes, it was like, where is your perfect place to live? Like, and I'm like, okay, where are me and myself, my own soulmate, going to settle down? And the screen thing was Florida. And I'm like, no, because I swear to God, this is not going to happen. And I'm answering the questions honestly, because I'm like, I'm not going to cheat the thing. I want to actually see which state I'm going to get. Well, I didn't get Florida, but I didn't get a northern state either.
Oh, no.
North Carolina, where Dan lives.
That's not bad.
Yeah. So
I mean, it could have been like Texas or something.
Not going to comment. Katie watches the show. We're not going to comment.
Listen, Ted Cruz needs to go.
No comment. Not getting into politics. No comment.
Oh, right,
Not
right.
disagreeing.
No politics. My bad.
But not disagreeing. So anyway, shut down the power grid. So yes, so I am least compatible with myself. So maybe I have to, I don't know, what what sign would the cats be? Actually, Perry's a Taurus. No, Perry's a Gemini. And that's what my father is, and I'm not compatible with them either. Lily? No, I think Lily's a Leo. Actually, that makes sense. That makes all the sense.
Dumpster babies were born at some point. I don't know. They're fine.
That's awesome. All right, so I'm not compatible with myself, but I'm my own soulmate, and I need to go to North Carolina. So, hi, Dan.
But seriously, I feel like that, like the defining animals, like dogs have their breeds and like hybrids and all this stuff. And
what are
you're
cats?
like, I have a cat. It's orange.
Yeah. What's kind of cat? Cat? Fluffy?
Yeah.
Meows a lot? Yeah, Dan just pointed out, he goes, you're going to North Carolina in 2 weeks. Well, maybe I'm not going to leave. Yep, I am 2 weeks as we're recording this, which is another thing, guys. There will be 2 weeks without programming from me and Eric coming up. We'll have this week's show, we'll have next week's show, and then we're going to be off for 2. Because I will not be here for 2 Sundays in a row. I might be here for one of the Sundays, but I'll have just driven across the country. So I don't know if I'm going to want to record. We're going to have to play that one by ear.
Yeah, we have a shorter episode.
Yeah, plan on 2 Sundays off, or maybe I'll just maybe we'll do like an audio only and release it on the channel or something. Maybe. I don't know. I'm playing everything by ear. All right, so I did something fun, Eric. I put a thing up on my Instagram at Chris O'Mealy, and I let people send me anonymous questions. I answered all of them. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer them in more detail for you guys. And Eric's going to answer them too.
Oh, okay.
All right. The ones we can answer, some of them were just comments, but I'll address some of them too. So we're going to start from the oldest one and work all the way up to the newest one. What are your plans this weekend? Well, our weekend's almost over, so let's talk about next weekend. So Eric, what are you doing next weekend?
Next weekend, I'm probably going to go over to Sylvan Factory, which is a local, game shop type of thing. There is an event that's happening soon that I can't mention, but I'll probably be setting up for that event.
Okay. Is that something we've talked about off air?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Well, very good. Very good.
And just playing video games. I don't do really much of anything.
There you go. Next weekend, we have an Among Us game on Saturday night that I'm looking forward to. Sunday, of course, we'll do this. And then, not really sure. It's my last weekend before the trip, and I'm also not working. That's actually why I pushed the trip back a day. I completely forgot that I planned the trip on the week that I don't work on Saturdays, to be fair to the job. And I remember it, I was like, well, shit, that means I have to work the Saturday beforehand. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just leave for North Carolina, the halfway point of the trip. And when I get off work, I'm like, no, I get off work at 2. Even if I went straight from work, I'd get there at 10 p.m. That's not enough time to hang out and go to dinner and everything. Dan's taken me to a pizza place, a local pizza place that he swears by. And, pizza places are always the right answer. Also, I think there's a dessert place we're going to and a local video game store we're going to. So, yeah, 10 p.m. wasn't going to work. So I was like, all right, screw it. I'll just leave on Sunday. I have the whole week off and I'm driving. I can arrive whenever I want. The weekend after is the crapshoot because I'm going to Horror Nights on a Friday night. And I'm going to probably be out the whole time. So I'm going to get home by 3 in the morning. I can't just crawl into bed and pass out. So I'll be up until 4. So do I want to get up early and drive even halfway to North Carolina again? on that Saturday, or do I want to use that Saturday to recuperate and do another Sunday to Monday? I'd get home on Halloween. I'd probably get home at like 4 p.m. or so, but that's the only reason why I probably wouldn't be able to do the show. If I were to just leave on the Saturday and say, screw it, we're doing this, and then get home on Sunday, we could still do a show. And hence where everything is coming from right here. So next Saturday, live on Twitch. Maybe Matt will scream and flip out again. I don't know yet.
Did he do that yesterday?
No, he's not as bad with Fall Guys as he is with Among Us, because you can't really blame him for stuff. But he does get really into it, and it makes it way more entertaining. At one point, I don't remember what... Oh, at one point, I yelled at him because he screwed me over from making a jump. And then he got mad and yelled back. And then we just got into a giggle fit for like a minute straight. Like literally like 60 seconds of just giggling. And I need to clip that from the stream and make that a video, because we just couldn't stop. Once we started, we couldn't stop. I just couldn't stop giggling. That was fun. Okay. Name all your exes.
Nope.
Yeah, that's what I said. Here's the thing. When it comes to like actual like dating, I don't really have that many, so I just name them.
I could name some. I don't think I can name them all. And on top of that, there's probably a few people who don't want their names to be mentioned, so I will not.
Also, there was like a really weird fascination on this thing where people kept asking me about my exes, and I'm like, why does people care? Why do you care? Just stop. Just stop caring. That one was a comment. Not going to read that. Do you love Taylor Swift, or do you just listen to make your wife happy?
I'd hit it.
Where I thought you were going with that, but okay. That one was a comment. How many do you have? Already answered that. Okay, we're going back to the dating questions again. Personality or looks?
Personality, obviously, but like you can't be Jabba the Hutt either. So
wow. I mean,
I'm not saying like you got to take care of yourself, right? Like if you look bad and you smell bad, I don't
hygiene's
care about
important.
Yes, hygiene's important.
Hygiene's important, yeah. Dan said, looks open the door, personality keeps it open. Well, in my history, I've learned very quickly that
some doors are unlocked.
Anyway, this doesn't even have to be a relationship thing. This is just a friendship thing in general. If you have a good personality and you're just a good person, you're a fun person and everything, like, I'm going to want to not only spend more time with you, but I'm going to like do stuff for you and like, and help you. And, you know, like, looks, you can only get by on looks for so long, and bad news, people, but looks fade over time.
Yeah, but so does eyesight. I'm on a roll today, Chris.
I don't even know why I'm surprised by this, honestly. Like, I'm not. Why am I surprised?
This is why you need to surround people who make you laugh, right? Even if it means you'll probably end up in jail.
You're correct.
Be like, why the fuck did you do that? Like, but it was funny, right?
So, I'm not going to call anybody out by name, but I do have a friend, a long-term friend, who did something that pissed us off. This is like, we're going back like over 10 years now, so I'm not really like
Uh-oh.
I don't really care about telling this story anymore. Yeah, I see it. They're coexisting right now. Let them coexist.
No. It's a hairball.
Oh, I can't actually hear it.
Oh, God. You good? No? You good?
Aww.
Oh.
Poor kitty.
Oh, God. Do you need to come
Well,
down?
I'm sorry. Is it Kitty or Kiri? I can't tell from the back.
Kitty is right now is the one that has a hair. I don't think Kiri's ever had a hairball.
So, do you notice that with your cats that one will always do the thing?
Yeah.
Like Perry throws up all the time to the point where I hear him throwing up and I just go because I know I have to get up and clean it. But if Lily throws up, I like jump up and pay attention.
Yeah.
'Cause she
Kiri, I
doesn't
don't
do it
think I've
that
ever
often.
seen like actually have a hairball. Kitty gets him like every once in a while. That's still pretty rare.
Yeah.
But it was funny the very first time that Kiri saw Kitty get a hairball because she was like, I don't know what to do. And she just like smacked her on the head. And I was like, no, I had like go over and like grab
No, you're supposed to
Kiri.
hold her hair back. Don't you know how this
Yes.
works?
She's like
The way
trying to
that they're
smack
laying
Adam.
together, they're like merging into one blob of a cat.
Yeah, they do that from time to time. Sometimes I think we're missing a cat. No, they're both just
They're both
there.
there. Yeah. Because they're the same color.
Yeah, they're both like cow cats, but like black and white.
They're related, aren't they?
No,
Oh, that's right. You just...
I adopted Kiri a few years after Kitty. I mean, they could be related. I don't know who their parents are, but like I doubt it.
Well, yeah, but like... Well, because people would ask all the time if Perry and Lily are litter mates because they're so close in age. And they do have that similar pattern because while Perry has a lot of white on him, he's still a tabby, which Lily is. The rest of him's tabby, so people are like, are they related? I'm like, no, but they fight like brother and sister. So
Yeah, that they do.
Or in your case,
Fight like
sisters.
siblings.
In your
All
case,
right, I'm sorry. What was that question? I started
personality
hearing,
or
like,
looks, and we start talking about our
blah.
we start talking about our cats' personalities. Because well, we said looks fade over time. You said so does eyesight. Dan commented that his eyesight isn't good to begin with, and then the hairball happened, and I got lost. So,
I mean, in all fairness, you don't even have to like be all that hot. My eyesight's not great to begin with. I can just take off my glasses, and bam, everything's a 10 or a blur. So,
I like those memes. You know, she's a 10, but
oh, she's a 10, but yeah, no.
Somebody asked me, they said, what would be your ultimate one? I said, she's a 10, but she hates cats. Be the hottest girl walking the planet. You hate cats? Not happening. Not in this lifetime. Do you have
I'm trying to think of what mine would be.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think everybody actually does have one. By the way, I'll tell... Oh, I was telling a story about a friend who pissed me off like 10 years ago. Another quick sidetrack story. Again, not
she's
gonna...
a 10, but makes me mow the grass.
You're gonna make her do it?
No, nobody's mowing the grass. I fucking live in a condo.
Yeah, this is why
HOH is for a reason.
This is why I want a condo, because I hate it. I always mowed the lawn. That was one of my chores growing up, and I hated it. It. Then again, we also had a pain in the ass lawn to mow because we had a big front lawn that sloped down, a backyard that sloped down. The one side of the house was just huge. And then the other side of the house was like on a hill, but like nothing grew there. So it was just, you kind of like went over it with because it was perpetually in the shade. So like you just kind of went over it with the mower to just go over it. You didn't really cut anything.
We had like a little hill, but the only reason the hill existed is because there was a tree there and a hurricane had knocked it over one year. So the stump was still in place and we like had to grind it up and then put some not fake, but like some dirt on it. And then put some patch grass so it'd blend in. And it was always a pain in the ass. And it was in Florida. So it was always hot.
Right. That was awful. I just tried to throw something to the door. So, two funny stories. I'm not going to name any names because I'm not going to be a jerk. But I will tell you guys two stories from the past. This one does involve me. But I had two girls in my past reject me using cats as the excuse that they were allergic, right? That was the excuse. Oh, sorry, I'm allergic to cats, so it would never work out in the long run. Okay, that's fair. Guess what both of them have to this day?
Cats.
More than one. So it wasn't the cats.
No, never is.
Never was, never is. A friend of mine, will not say his name, but I still remember this. This was the moment we gave up. One of my friends wanted to help him with his desperation. There's something with him. I can't say what it is because it'll give away who I'm talking about. But there's something about him that he's convinced is the reason no girl would ever talk to him. And we always tried to convince him that wasn't the case. You just haven't met the right girl. They're too superficial or whatever. Like, they're too judgy or whatever term you want to use there, right? Like, and the girl, my friend's ex-wife, who did the college program with me, she said, I know a really good, like, just well-thought-of Christian girl who would love him, would never judge him for anything like that, like, wouldn't bother her or anything, and I guarantee you I could set them up, at least set them up on a date. So we presented him with that offer, and his response to that was, if she's not a perfect 10, don't waste my time.
Well, that's why.
And now, you know why. This person today in 2022, this is going back to like 2008, by the way, in 2022 is still single. And, well, that wasn't it. But I'll tell you what probably was. And, okay, when I was younger, yeah, I guarantee you I turned off a lot of girls because I had a shitty personality back then. And I've grown a lot as a
Everybody
person.
had a shitty personality in their late teens and early 20s.
Oh my God, yeah.
Just a given.
Once you finally get to like that 25 age and you kind of like you've been out of the house and you're on your own and you're working full time and everything, cuz like I started the full time out of the house Disney job when I was 23. By the time I was 25, 26ish, I finally like got to that point where I was comfortable. And of course, you see where that led me relationship wise. So like obviously something changed and grew and everything. And then I think everybody grows as a person. And I think once you pretty much hit your 30s, you're pretty much, that's who you are at that point.
Yeah, I and I'm going to say it like in a really like the most horrific way possible. But like late teens, I was all like, hell yeah, let's go get laid. Yeah, party. That kind of shit.
College age, man. College age.
Yeah, college age, right? And then at some point,
all we cared about.
Yeah. And that was pretty much it. Like I would wake up, I would do my stuff, and then I'd be like, all right, I want to like go meet some girls or whatever. And then I would go out and
but you weren't looking to date.
Yeah. But there's a point that changed though, where when I got up to go do like my errands, I was like, man, I don't want to do this by myself. And then it literally was just like, oh shit, am I not looking for ass anymore? Like I'm looking for someone that I can do my errands with.
So you know how
I don't want to do it by myself
let's
anymore.
go back. Let's take it out of the relationship thing for a second. Let's go back to friendship again. You know how I know that like you're a good friend with somebody? Like especially you would literally just come over to my house and we would just chill.
Yeah,
put on a movie or a game or something. We didn't do anything. Anything. That was it. We didn't do anything. Like I remember there was a girl I dated back in college, and I remember I found out later, this is why this didn't work out, by the way, but I found out later that she was like, he's so weird the way he just wants to like hang out with me when I like do chores or go shopping. And like, it's not even anything interesting. I don't understand that. And somebody finally clued her in. They're like, you're an idiot. He's doing that because he wants to be with you. He doesn't care what you're doing.
Yep.
Well, we see how that worked out. But
Oh man.
like when you have
So
when you're finally like good friends with somebody, you can literally just do the most mundane shit together, and it's fun.
well, I wouldn't say fun, but you appreciate them being there.
Yeah,
'Cause
absolutely.
sometimes whatever it is that you're doing is not going to be
Let's
pleasant,
let's
regardless
make
who's
let's
there.
make a Big Bang Theory reference. When Leonard had to get out of the house away from Sheldon and Penny and everything, and he joins Howard and Bernadette for just a shopping trip to Target to pick up diapers. And even though they were kind of like making fun of him for that, at the same time, like, that's friendship right there. Oh, I just want to hang out with you guys, and I know you guys are busy because you're parents and everything, and this is literally the only way I'm going to get to hang out with you. But like, and I do that for my friends. I would still do that for my friends. Like, oh well, I'm really busy right now. I literally just have to like run an errand, but you can come with me if you want. Well, I want to hang out with you, so I will go run that errand with you. It's about,
So, what's the one conspiracy on the internet that you've read that you believe might be true?
you want me to pick one?
Pick your best one.
Oh my god. You want me to shift through internet conspiracies? Holy crap. Okay. All right.
Yeah, one conspiracy on the internet that you believe might be true.
Good god. Um, I 100% believe that like my iPhone and my webcam are not sacred at the moment. Like,
Okay, yep, that's fair.
There,
That
there's
is fair.
there's more than just the counter on the Twitch channel listening to this podcast right now,
That is also very fair.
and everything that we say.
I mean, I do believe that
Dan went with birds aren't real; they're government drones.
I'm gonna go with some girls are loyal. There's his face.
Oh my god! I can't say this was a mistake because I'm having too much fun. Anyway, I think we've exhausted this topic to death. But please keep going. You have more to say. Please keep going. This thing on my phone is busted.
Oh no, that was pretty much it. No,
Yes.
I believe for at least the phone stuff, there's probably something to it because even if we're talking to like Siri or Google or the one that shall not be named from Amazon,
please don't, because it's sitting right behind me and I don't feel
that's
like
why I
having it
didn't
go
say
off.
it. I had to like, Harry
Because
Potter
that happens
that shit.
a lot. That happens a lot.
But
Do
yeah,
you remember?
like their speakers are always listening, regardless. It's just that like that call sign is their trigger word to respond, but they're always listening.
Yeah. Did you ever see the people were complaining because the Aaron Paul Xbox commercial was like turning on people's Xboxes?
No, really?
Because when he did the commercial, he's like, Xbox turn on, and like people's Xboxes were actually turning on.
That's funny.
Well, that's another thing. The thing that shall not be named responds to anybody's voice. Siri only responds to my voice. So Apple actually got that one right. You program it in to recognize your voice, and not anybody can just talk to it.
But yeah. They're
So they got that one right.
Shit. I think it's hilarious though that we went to like, well, I don't want the government to know what we're doing, to now everybody has at least one of these in their home or in their pocket.
We have a lot of them now. Yeah.
Too many.
But you know what? Technology's awesome. And I was actually talking to my boss the other day because he's a wrestling guy. And I was telling him about an incident that happened on Saturday at work that I needed to address. And then he's like, yeah, just take it easy tonight. Watch the wrestling pay-per-view. Everything will be fine. I said, dude, technology's awesome because I'm about to play Fall Guys on my TV, but I've got my iPad sitting right here on the table and it's got the wrestling pay-per-view on it because I can. And at the same time, I've got Discord on so I can talk to my friends while I'm playing Fall Guys and we're watching the pay-per-view together. We were born at the right time. We were born at the right time.
Yes, we were. And like as much as there's a lot of shit going on in the world right
I don't
now,
own a house. I really want to.
you don't want to own a house because of student loans.
No, I don't have any.
You don't have any?
Nope.
What other loans do you have?
I mean, I've got a personal one, but
That's it, right? Just the car loan?
yeah.
Dude, go get a house. What's wrong?
What do you think?
You can just go. Like,
No, I can't.
serious.
It's not that simple.
Yes, it is.
Apparently
Like,
not.
Perfect time.
No, it isn't. It hasn't crashed yet. I'm still
Oh
waiting
my
for that.
God.
I need the
No,
prices to
wait
come
for
down.
it to crash.
No, I need the prices to come down. It's not a buyer's market yet.
Oh my God, it never will be again.
All right, that's not going to help this conversation out anyway.
Listen, inflation is so rough.
Yes, it is. But that wasn't
Okay.
yeah, but the point was, as technology-wise, like the games and everything, when you and I were kids, the coolest graphics we had were Super Mario Brothers 3. And then when Super Nintendo and Sega came out, that blew our friggin' minds.
Yeah.
And then PlayStation and Nintendo 64 happened. We're like, it can't get better than this. And then here comes PS2 and Xbox. We're like, it'll never be better than this. And then...
Dude. Yeah, my dad has a video of me saying, wow, look at these graphics. They're so realistic. To Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah. I remember screaming at my TV with the Lakitu with the camera and Mario 64 where he like goes onto the bridge and you can see the water and everything. I'm like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And then Mario comes out of the pipe and he's in full 3D and he's going, wah!
And I think we've already said this before, but those age better. Like Nintendo games age better
16-bit graphics, yeah.
Yeah, well, not even just the 16-bit graphics. Like anything that has that cartoony art style to it, or any kind of art style to it, is better than anything that's going for the realistic graphics.
I agree. Actually, the best Super Nintendo games, graphic-wise, are still things like Mario World and Link to the Past.
Yeah.
And you know what some of the worst Super Nintendo graphics are? Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Because it looked cool at the time, the pictures and everything. Street Fighter looks better than Mortal Kombat.
Yes, it does.
At the time, Mortal Kombat looked better, but now look what we have to compare it to.
And you know what's funny about that? And I'm going to pick two games that I absolutely love. There's nothing bad about these games.
Right.
But if I have to compare the two graphics, one aged way better than the other. And it's because they didn't push the hardware to its limit. Let's take A Link to the Past and Super Mario RPG.
Yes, and Mario RPG was a different entity, though, because it was kind of 3D, but it was still using the 16-bit style of 3D.
Yes. But, like, as cool as it was, and it's still a great game, I feel like because they decided to try to push the limits of the hardware, it didn't age as gracefully as Link to the Past.
Yeah. And that's a shame, but it also is exactly what it is. All right. So this one you can't answer. Only I can answer this one. But there's a story here that you'll appreciate. What was or is your favorite all-Steve tag team to work with? So I don't know which Steve submitted this, but I worked with a tag team called the Killer Steves out of New York.
Okay.
Studley Steve McKenzie and Mr. One Night Stand Steve Cruz. And their real names were actually Steve. The last names were gimmicked up, but they actually were both named Steve. They're both from New York. So their tag team gimmick was that they were ladies' men. You know, ladies' men out on the prowl, right? That's what they were there for, to wow the babes. But there was just enough subtle innuendo in their mannerisms and in their matches and everything to make you think, are they into ladies or are they into each other? And it was really cleverly done. Mackenzie's a huge movie buff. He watches movies all the time. And he's a Disney guy. He goes every year. And I love following his adventures while he's there. Cruz, I don't know as much about Cruz's personal life because he doesn't share as much of it on the Facebook, but Cruz, I'm going to tell this story to this day. So the first GSW show was November 19th of 2007. And it's now 2022. So there's the time frame, 7 to 22. And that first show had a very low ceiling. The building that John got had a really low ceiling, and we didn't have a low ring. So really tall guys were basically hitting their head on the ceiling. Once a year, at some point, usually in December, when the anniversary comes up, Cruz reminds me of that show. And it's just become a running gag at this point. So when I answered the question on Instagram, I said, yeah, Killer Steez, great tag team to work with out in New York. And I once booked them on a show with a ridiculously low ceiling because I had to point it out every time. We still talk about it to this day. But you know what? As much of a joke as it is, it's a testament to their professionalism because there are plenty of other people in wrestling that I worked with who would have walked in, seen that setup, and been like, nope. Especially to a bunch of amateur promoters doing their first ever show. Holy crap. They could have just walked out and screwed us, but they didn't. So I'm okay with it being a joke, and he can rip on me all he wants for it because he was professional and he stayed, and I respect him for that. Everybody who worked that show that first day, I respect the hell out of them for it because every one of them could have bitched and walked out because we were a startup promotion in a shitty situation and we didn't have any money to pay anybody for that first show. But everybody came, they worked, and they were professional. Kudos to everybody back in November of... Also, November 19th, 2007 is the night the fabulous Moolah died. I think I said 19th, right? I'd say 17th. That would have been my birthday.
No, I think you said 19th.
I get too many numbers in my head. That was the night the fabulous Moolah died, and we toasted her at the Applebee's after the show. That was also... Hi, Joey Image. When the waitress came by and asked us if we needed anything else, he asked for her phone number. And she said, sorry, I have a fiance. And he said, well, there goes your tip. And we all had a laugh about it. And then he actually forgot to tip her and realized it after the fact. He goes, oh, she's going to think I'm an asshole. We're like, yeah, we all think you're an asshole for that one. But so, yeah, that's something that happened. The best Joey Image tip story, though, happened at the Red Robin at the hotel that I that I lived in college. There's a Red Robin attached to it. And we went out to eat after we shot my film project for my television production class. And the waitress, of course, was like, can I get you guys anything else? And Joe asked her for a hug. She gave him a hug. So he gave her his phone number. But then I guess his tip wasn't up to par because he got a text from her later that night on the way home that said, hey, thanks for the cheap tip, asshole.
Wow.
Well, so, Wrestling Road Stories are the best. This one I just want to read because this was a really nice compliment. This is an anonymous message. Just dropping in to tell you how much respect and admiration I have for you as a human. You're a high-value person, and I hope you recognize that. I appreciate your friendship, and I hope we cross paths in the real world soon, my friend. That was very sweet. Whoever wrote that, you literally made my day when read that. What's your relationship status? A complicated relationship with myself.
In North Carolina, apparently.
That's been my relationship status since I was born. I will always be in a complicated relationship with myself. Sorry. Why do you wear a wig at your job? I don't. Why did you ask me that? That was the stupidest question ever. Like, I actually
don't have hair.
I actually don't know why somebody asked me that. Like, I don't wear wigs, so I literally don't know where that one came from. Your opinion on birds. Dan, did you write this? The fake government drones? Yeah, opinion on birds. Actually, I'm pretty sure that was a Joey Image one, if I had to guess. Opinion on birds. That sounds like something you would do. My opinion on birds.
Tastes good.
That was actually what I said. Some of them taste really good. I said some of them are jerks because they shit on my car. And some of them have really cool colors and they talk.
The
Birds
fact
are
that they can
not.
fly and just be completely safe in the air, except from like other birds and planes and shit, but we still managed to catch them and eat them.
To the birds that I had to work with on safari, those birds sucked. Helmeted guinea fowl and the ostriches. So like, forget those birds. I'm not a big bird person. Haha, I get it. I'm not big on birds in general. Like, I would never have one as a pet. If that's your thing, that's cool. I got no issue with that. But like, they're not for me. I'd
Yeah.
sooner have a dog than ever get a bird. I never had a dog, but I'd sooner work on getting one and figuring out how to have one and dealing with everything that comes with one before I would ever actually get a bird.
Don't do it.
Don't
do it.
Stop saying that.
I'm much happier. Just look at these cats. Look at them.
I know. Cats are great. To be fair, most of the birds we eat can't really fly because we breeded it out of them. That is true, Dan.
Yeah.
You are correct.
Well, that's on them.
Yeah. Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
You're an extrovert.
You think so?
Yeah. I'm definitely an introvert. If between the two of us.
I don't know. You've always seemed like a pretty social guy.
When I have to be. But most of the time, I'm just like, I'm going to stay in the cave over there. You ever seen me at a party?
Don't get me wrong. I love my house. I love my home. Home is where the cats are. Home is where my video games are.
But yeah, no, I'm not like a very outreachy person.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know. It gives me anxiety whenever I know I have to talk to people.
Yeah, that's another thing, people. If I've ever left my house to spend time with you, then you are a special person to me. Because no.
That was one of my favorite things, like hanging out with you, is like, I would go over to your house, we would do absolutely nothing, and you won't even ask me why I'm there.
Because I enjoyed spending time with you, but we also we were so lazy, and it was the best.
Yeah, we were just like, Big Bang Theory and pizza later? Like, yeah, all right.
Hell yeah,
cool.
We'll watch Big Bang Theory and eat pizza. Hell yeah. It's the best time, dude. Sometimes the best thing you can do is literally nothing. Well, that's why, when people kept asking me, what are your plans when you're in Florida? I'm like, I'm going to Horror Nights. What are you doing the rest of the week? I said, nothing. Seeing friends. Because that's what I want to do. I find more value in spending time with people and going places than actually, doing things. You know what I mean? I like to visit places to say that I've been there. I don't have to necessarily do something. I can go to a new state, just an example, shout out to Miranda, because we had this conversation the last time I saw her, who just had a birthday, by the way, and she's doing great in pilot school, so.
Happy birthday!
Yeah, our old friend
Take us
Miranda.
on a flight.
The last time I saw her, which was last year, around this time, because we were talking about pilot school and everything, we were talking about her and her girlfriend had gone to Alaska, and she was showing me pictures. I was super jealous because I want to go there. And we were talking about my goal to visit all 50 states. And I'm like, you're from Arkansas originally. That's a state I literally can't figure out where to go. And she goes, go for the landscape. I said, you know what? That's probably it right there. Go to the Ozark Mountains. Find a park. Spend time there. I'd be happy with that. I don't have to go find an activity to do. Just the fact that I've been there and saw something cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
know what I always get, about, each state and, they all have their own unique thing? Why is it that when somebody mentions New York, it's always like, oh, you gotta go to, Central Park? And I'm kind of just like, no, you really don't.
Don't go to Central Park.
Don't ever go to Central Park.
Don't ever go to Central Park. Not now, not ever.
That's a terrible idea. Who told you that? Smack them.
Oh, I heard I got to go see Times Square. No. Do you
You could see Times Square on the TV with everybody else.
Do you like walls of tourists who don't move? The Times Square is for you. Also, it's the most expensive place in the country. Why would you go there? So when people are like, why would you ever, what would you do if you went to Alaska? I'd be like, I'd literally go to just look at the mountains and the forests and everything, the landscape.
Yeah,
I'm going
but
there
also
to just
fuck
breathe
Alaska.
It in. What? Why?
Why? Because how is it the hottest and the coldest like state?
Oh, you wouldn't want to live in Anchorage, Alaska, where the
Fuck
summers
that.
where it gets up into the 90s in the summer and then drops to like the negative 40s in the winter. You don't
No.
want that kind of temperature range in your life.
No,
That,
fuck
that's
that,
like living
dude.
out in the Midwest, like living in Kansas City, where in the middle of summer it gets to 105 degrees stagnant, just 105 for like a week straight, just dead air. And then in the middle of the winter, the high is like negative 26, and they're covered in like 6 feet of snow.
Yeah, but I mean, well, at least in Alaska they don't have like wicked tornadoes all the time.
No, they have earthquakes.
Do they?
Alaska gets worse earthquakes than California, dude.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well,
Yeah.
good for them.
Boy, wouldn't that have been great when you were there? Be like, no tornadoes. Why is the ground shaking?
And I wouldn't have said anything. I would have been like, "Ooh, maybe I'm drunk."
Well, I'm in Alaska. What else am I doing? Also, they everybody carries bear spray.
Oh yeah, bears. Forgot. How's like I spent so much time in Florida, and the only bear that I saw was like half my size.
Battlestar Galactica. I said it before he typed it. Dan wrote Bears Beats, and then I was waiting for it. I'm like, I know where he's going with this. I didn't know Florida had bears, actually.
Yeah, I think it was at a zoo actually. When I think about it,
Well,
it
okay.
was very small.
Well, shit. If we're going for that logic, Pennsylvania's got friggin' giraffes.
Well, I just like the wildlife between Florida and here is wild, right? Because like we have deers in Florida, but the deers in Florida are like big dogs. Like that's their size, literally the size of a dog. Then you have deers up here that could probably take on Optimus Prime. like, how is that much of a size?
You want to
difference
see something
between the two?
terrifying in nature? Go to Maine and see a moose in
Oh,
person.
dude, yes. Those
Just a moose in the wild was terrifying in person. I was also like 7 years old, so I was small. I'm still small, but
they're bigger than cars.
yes,
A lot bigger than cars.
A lot bigger than cars. So just know.
It's like I feel like mooses are like the tanks of the animal kingdom.
There was this video, because I've watched some of those like dash cam videos online. There's one where the guy's driving, and he's talking. I guess he's talking to his girlfriend on the radio or whatever. Like she's coming through their speakers, and he's like, "Oh, it was just a bad day. I'm gonna get home and I'm gonna roll a big fat," and then he just hits a bear with his truck, and he goes, "Holy shit!" She's like, "What, babe? I just hit a bear." She goes, "Is your truck fucked up?" He just hits a bear. Just hit a bear. You hit a moose, your car's not surviving that.
Yeah.
The moose is just gonna look at you like you're a pesky fly and be like, "Really?" That was a minor inconvenience. That was a minor inconvenience.
Saw me. I'm like 30 feet tall. I'm exaggerating, but like not by much. They're fucking tall, dude.
Dan writes, "Moose are the scariest because if you hit them with your car, you just bust their legs and the whole 2,000-pound body goes into your car." That is true. So you're dead at that point. You're just dead. Yeah. So F that big time. This one was easy. Dogs or cats?
Cats.
That will always be the answer, my friends.
No offense to dogs. I love all animals, but like cats are so chill, man.
I miss you. I hope you're doing well. Oh, I miss you too. Your favorite weather event to follow? Okay, so I can actually answer this because I think everybody expected me to say hurricanes because I do love tracking hurricanes. In fact, let's date me a little bit here. I had a DOS program, Eric, that was designed to track hurricanes. And I tracked Hurricane Andrew live as it happened on Microsoft DOS.
Good God. Fucking hated DOS. Fucking hated DOS.
I'm like, I need more feedback. Come on.
I don't
MS-DOS,
know what kind
baby.
of. I was trying to think of like what weather things I fucking watch, but like honestly, I just want to know when it snows now.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
So my favorite weather event to monitor, legitimately, is any threat that's coming towards me. And I say that's my favorite thing to follow because as much as I love tornadoes, as a concept, I don't want them to actually kill anybody, but I think they're cool. If they're not happening near me, there's only so much I'm going to give a shit about them. But if you've got a big supercell system, one of those straight line deals, they're really like dangerous thunderstorms, and that shit's coming my direction, I'm monitoring that. But I'm doing it for caution, and I'm doing it out of excitement because I want to see a big storm. Even more exciting is the concept of the big snowstorm. Yes, it's a pain in the ass after it happens, but I'll be damned if that's not the coolest thing in progress. Nothing beats being secure in your house, stocked up on food, and just letting it snow. Because it's snow's a natural. To all my Florida friends who've never seen snow, and several of you are watching this right now, snow is a natural sound muffler. So if you step outside when it's actively snowing, it muffles the air and it makes it very calm and quiet. It's a really cool experience for a regular snowfall. Now, if it's a friggin' blizzard with high winds, then yeah, you're going to hear a lot of stuff. You're going to hear whoosh and it's going to make your face cold and numb. And you're going to go, why the hell did I move up north?
Yep.
Same question you're asking yourself when the hurricane winds are smacking you in the face. And you go, why the hell did I move down south? It's the same thing. You know? And to give that comparison to you guys from Florida, the blizzard is the equivalent of the hurricane flooding your area and trapping you inside your house. That actually happens. You get stuck and you have to shovel your way out, and it's annoying. Which is why when the potential of a threat is there, that's when you go to the grocery store and you stock the hell up. Not as soon as the threat might be there, you go and do it then. That's when you do it. Because if you don't do it, all the bread and milk is gone. Dan just wrote milk sandwiches right as I said that. Yes, exactly. The friggin' bread and milk every time. I know that happens in Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
I know you've seen it now.
You should have saw it when they announced the second booster shot. People thought there was going to be another pandemic, so they just fucking brought, like, they sold all the bread and milk. It was gone. I'm like, it's just a second shot. Like,
no,
it's not a new thing.
No, it's another pandemic. It's the bread and milk. I love there's a guy, I think it was a TikTok video, where it was like the blizzard, and then it was him, like, gasping, and then the next scene is him outside running with like a stack of milk cartons in one hand and like 12 loaves of bread in the other, just running and screaming. And I'm like, yeah, there it is. But in reality, I love to do the hurricane trackers, and I follow NWS Tornado on Twitter, which is the National Weather Service tornado alerts, and I follow that in real time. So I see all the tornadoes as they're actually happening throughout the country. It's very quiet this time of year.
We should follow what's that one guy's name from the Weather Channel that shows up?
Oh, Jim Cantori follows me on Twitter, so we're cool. Yes. We're tight. We're like
Jim Cantori. I feel like I should just follow him and just be where he's not. If that makes sense.
Yeah, when he shows up, that's when shit gets real. What is your favorite sport? This is a different question depending on participation versus watching.
League of Legends.
Well, for you, that's a sport because you get as angry as a sports fan does.
I mean, it's an e-sport.
Yeah, counts. But I know it. You know what I'm saying. You get as mad at that game as a football fan gets mad when their team gets intercepted. Like,
yeah, I do.
I love when I know you're playing League of Legends. And I'm just like, so how's it going? And you're like, I fucking hate this game. I'm like, it's going that good, huh?
Because sometimes you just get paired with people who just don't give a shit.
A cat has yelled. Yeah,
That's it.
no.
I don't have it installed on my PC currently. That's how mad it pissed me off.
I have uninstalled this game. Yeah, that's what used to crack me up about Matt playing Fall Guys. He just kept commenting how much he hates the game. And it's like, no, you don't. I have a kitty. Come on. Come be part of the show. This is the cat who screamed into the microphone during my Wheel of Fortune stream. It's Lily.
Hi, Lily.
She's here. She just needs to figure out how to get up on my lap. She's probably going to get up here, run right into the microphone, and then panic because she can't just, like, walk around on the desk. Because I know this cat, and I know how she operates. So, favorite sport to follow. Pro wrestling, baseball, and MMA, not boxing. Give me mixed martial arts. I'm not big into boxing. But as far as, like, actually playing... bowling and mini golf are my two big ones. I do enjoy playing basketball, and I actually do enjoy playing soccer. I'm not very athletic at either anymore, but I would still, if people got together just to mess around, I'd do it.
Nice. There, yep.
Yeah. You get an ass.
Well, you get an ass.
I get a tail in the face. She's too close to the monitor so you can't see her pretty face. Why don't you let them see your pretty face?
It's all right. I know she's there.
Everybody knows she's there now. Yeah, hi. You wanna look up? Look up at the camera. So, what are your favorite sports, Eric?
I do like baseball, but I feel like I couldn't watch it. It's too I like playing baseball.
Okay, that's fair. As far as baseball goes, do you enjoy attending the games in person? Because that's so much fun.
Well, yes. So like that's the other thing, right? So like I've been to a basketball game, I've been to football games, and I will watch football. I say my favorite sport to watch is football. My favorite sport to play is baseball.
Okay.
But like between going to a football game and a baseball game, I feel like going to a baseball game is better.
I agree, because I've only ever been to one NFL game. College football games are fun, but I've only been to one NFL game, and the commercial breaks were a killer. There was so much dead time. It drove me nuts. You know what's a ton of fun to watch, though? Hockey.
I bet. I feel like hockey is one of those like sports that when you go to a stadium, they're not fucking around. There's no halftime show or any of that shit. They get on the ice, they do their thing, they go home. I feel like that's how it goes.
Yep.
But I feel like the chill, laid backness of baseball is probably why I like the stadium atmosphere. Because then like you can go and get a hot dog and come back to your seat, and you didn't miss much.
Yep. Lily's on camera right now. Good God.
Cat spotlight.
This is just entertaining me at this point, because like she's just tail and butt, and like her face is over here now, and I wish it was over here. Let's see if I can get her to turn around.
I see her. I see her ear.
Yeah, her face is over here, but what I want it to be on the camera, but it's not. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Ah, there we go.
Hey.
There we go. There we go. Why do you look
fluffy baby?
Why do you look so
fluffy
angry?
Baby?
Cute. You remember when this baby was first introduced in our lives? You were around for that. And now she's 10 years old.
Yeah, Katie's getting up there too.
How's that make you feel, knowing that these cats are 10 now? Think about that for a minute. You were around when they came home, and now they are 10. Bye-bye, baby.
That's wild.
Yeah, welcome to getting old, pal.
Yep.
All right, so yeah,
What's funny is that our generation is going to be not the first, but the first to consistently hit over 100 years old.
mm-hmm. They say the first person who will live to be 150 has already been born.
Yeah.
And it's Vince McMahon.
Probably because he's not human.
He's not human, exactly. All right, here's a good one, buddy. What's your dream job?
Porn. Except I'm the cameraman.
Sure you are. Okay.
No, I don't know if I actually have a dream job. Like my dream job is like I like helping people. I like building computers, but I do not like the American workday of 8 hours a day. So I feel like my dream job is building computers for people, but I can't do that for 8 hours straight. This is like one of those things where like if it was
order.
feasible. Yeah, well, not even by order. Like if it was feasible for me to survive off of building a computer every once in a while for somebody who needed it and not having to like advertise and like do it every single day or like not as often, I would fucking love that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the 8-hour workday that I fucking hate.
What was it, Henry Ford who introduced it, or Thomas Edison? No, I think it was Henry Ford introduced the 5-day, and it was like yeah, he introduced the 5-day 8-hour American work week, and then somebody was like, everybody boo this man. Dream job for me would be exactly what we're doing here, as a full-time paid basis, like my own radio show kind of thing. That would be the dream job. I've discussed this on previous episodes, but I'll do it again real quick because it fits the context. If I ever like won the lottery and was able to just open my own business, I would open an entertainment complex, and it would have a movie theater that would show classic movies. Classic meaning like Star Wars and Ghostbusters and things that I want to play. Like you're not gonna go see a new release there, but maybe every week at a certain time of day, we'll do like 3 showings of X movie, and there'll be 3 different showings, and you can come and watch it again on the big screen. You just buy a ticket, buy some snacks, and go relive the movie. It would be an arcade, definitely an arcade, and it would be I would do what Disney Quest did. You'd pay a cover, everything would be on free play, and you just pay a cover price to get in. Which I
like that idea.
Which I thought was a great model. Yeah, you could buy other stuff while you're there. Maybe there'll be a couple of extra things inside that you would pay for, like an extra event or something. Like maybe I'd have an indoor mini golf course that would just be an extra fee to play, but it's part of the complex. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There would be a bar, of course, bar and a restaurant. And then there would be an event space where I would host wrestling matches. That would be the weekend entertainment. I'd bring in a couple of wrestlers who were available every weekend, tape a couple of matches so I could promote wrestling. That would be the dream. That would be the dream. That would literally combine everything I've ever wanted to do in one spot. So if I ever won the lottery, I would just buy land, put up a commercial entertainment complex, and just have at it.
I would like to open like a old retro video game store. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, we have a couple of local ones. I was just at one today because my knockoff Switch controller died. Gave us 3 years of service, so RIP. And I was like, all right, fine, screw it. I'm just buying the Pro controller at this point. Because the Pro controller is great because you can turn on the Switch from it and you can use amiibos on it and everything, just like a Joy-Con. And it's wireless, so it doesn't have to be plugged in all the time. I bought the cheap one to be cheap, and then it died. So I was like, all right, screw it. I'll get the
Some of the cheap ones that had like really good artwork, though. I got like a Legend of Zelda one. Oh, like it's an official Nintendo one, actually. So it's not cheap, but it's not a Pro controller either. It's like a dedicated wire controller.
I saw 2 of those at the store. One was Mario and one was Pikachu. But I was like, nah, just give me the Pro controller. I want the wireless feature. This Logitech controller that I've had forever. I've had this thing for like 10 years, and it still works great.
It's probably been longer than 10 years. I believe you had that before we met.
Probably. This thing has been amazing, by the way. It still works great. I actually bought the official Steam controller, or something that was supposed to be a Steam controller, and it like doesn't work with anything. So I hate it, and I hate that it's a waste of money, and it actually looks really cool, but I hate it. But that Logitech thing, man, that plays everything.
You know what that reminded me of? Like, remember the old Mad Catz controllers?
Yes.
Oh my god. That's what I thought you were pulling out. I was like, no way.
Would that have been great?
Yeah.
Which one were we up to? We did Dream Job, right? Yeah, okay. There's like 4 more, and we're almost done. The biggest obstacle in life, debt.
Knowledge.
Yeah. Myself,
I agree with you.
actually.
It's the debt thing, and I think we all got taught incorrectly. I believe the school system failed us in preparing us for real life.
Yes. But I know that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. So
yay! How does that help you?
I don't know.
How does that help you put bread on the table?
It's January 11th, and I'm just sitting here with stacks of tax paper in front of me and be like, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Shit.
Meanwhile, here's the things that I really do feel like they should focus on in schools to prepare you. Reading, writing, math can stay, right?
Yeah.
Essential.
There's nothing wrong with science and history and all that stuff.
No.
But there needed to be something else in there.
But here's the thing about history, right? And now that I'm an adult and I know that everybody fucking lies, history is written by the winners of whatever war is happening.
That's true. That's 100%
and they have their
accurate.
own. Do you want to know how old I was when I found out about Juneteenth? Too fucking old.
Same, dude. Same. Your cat's just walking on each other.
Yeah, but like I didn't know that was a thing. And
yeah, no, I didn't hear about it a long time either.
It's shameful, and I understand why they would try to like hide it, but at the same time I feel like they need to bring that shame up to the forefront. That way we can see where we were and where we need to be, or how to fix whatever it is.
100%. Yeah, we're really bad with the history, like
that's a different discussion, but they do need to like how to fill out a taxes, like, and how to like do a resume. I didn't know how to do a resume.
Yeah, how to do a resume would have been great. Like, you know what the honest biggest scam was about college? Having to take gen ed classes.
Right? Wasn't that like what high school was for?
I'm seriously taking English and math again? Like, college? Like,
that's why I went to a trade school.
Yeah, because you don't have to learn that crap. But still, college in general should just be a trade school. Like,
well, I feel like certain careers.
Well, not all of us went to that high school, Dan. We didn't all learn taxes and resumes in high school. Some of us went to Vernon.
Some of us went to school in Florida. So we're not. What happened?
No, just what you said. It's funny because
like we're not on equal playing fields. Okay, it's like some of us had to struggle a little bit harder than others.
Some of us had a history teacher who doubled as the soccer coach, and when the soccer team lost, he literally would come in and whip books against the wall because he was pissed.
But like, they don't really teach you anything, or at least in high school. Learn a trade. Be like, at least when you have your elementary school. I don't know about you, but like we had a middle school, which was like 2 or 3 grades. I can't remember. But by the end of middle school, and you're starting your freshman year, I do believe should be just all of your gen eds and one elective, right? Like your elective being your whatever PE or band, chorus, whatever the fuck it is. But and they should also prep you for the rest of the other 3 years that you have in high school for a trade that interests you. Something either like being a mechanic or something basic, something that doesn't require an actual college degree, because there's a lot of trades out there that don't require a college degree that is taught in colleges, and then they still make you take the gen eds. Like, why? I feel like that yeah, I don't know.
It was a scam. All right. We're running short on time, so let's get through these last ones real quick.
Oh, okay.
Are you a backseat driver? No, but I do believe very strongly that if I'm in the passenger seat, I'm supposed to navigate.
No.
So I do navigate.
Because I don't care.
There you go.
If I'm in... First off, I'm always driving. And when I'm not driving, I don't care where I'm going. Because if I trust somebody else enough to drive, it doesn't matter where I end up.
I'm going to remember that next time you're in my car.
That was the first time we got in your car. Remember, you were driving, and I was just like, hey, we've never actually been in anything that hasn't broken down before.
That wasn't cool, bro.
We made it, though.
Especially because that Jeep died. That Jeep is dead. 2019. Hey, there's something happening in my engine. Mechanic just comes out and goes, yeah, your car's done. It's a matter of time at this point. Like, well, shit. So at least my new Corolla. Nobody's gotten a ride in my new Corolla. Because all you
Not
guys
even the cats?
Oh, no, they've ridden in it. They don't have good experiences in there because they went to the vet.
Yeah.
No,
Our dog likes the car.
I think very few of my friends have actually... Dan goes, I will in 2 weeks. Yeah, because I'm going to pick him up to go out to eat. Yeah, that's funny. Because a lot of my friends I don't think have actually ridden in my car. Very few people have. So lucky you if you've ridden in my I love my new Corolla. So
normally if I jump in a car with somebody for the first time, it's always to some place close by, right? Like we're going to go pick up food or whatever. It's never on long trips, but I use that opportunity on a short trip to determine if this person can drive or, dear God, I'm never getting in this vehicle again.
I remember the first time I got in an actual car with you driving, and I was like, I don't understand what's happening. Because I'd never ridden on your bike before, and you always had the bike, and then one day you were just like, I've got a car now. And I'm like, Eric drives a car?
Yeah, it was weird.
Like, that concept didn't... Yeah. See, that's the best part, is Dan has ridden in the car with me once before, but when... that time he visited, I actually was driving my mom's car because my Jeep was getting worked on. So he rode in my mom's old Cadillac. He never even rode in my Jeep. Yeah. We went from his hotel to a restaurant next door, and we literally got in the car and went. But anybody who's ever had the privilege of being on a long trip with me, you can sleep if you're in the back seat, but if you're in the passenger seat, you are navigating for me. But I have a really random ass playlist that we can listen to, so enjoy. Enjoy that. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go and why? The answer is still Japan, as we have previously discussed.
Yep, Japan.
Definitely Japan. The last thing I got just said spill some tea. Sure. You have to be way more specific about what kind of tea you're looking for. There's a lot of tea that can be spilt in this world. What kind of tea you looking for? I'm not talking about my exes anymore, because that's a dead topic by this point. But what kind of tea do you want? You want wrestling stories? You want road trip stories? You want more Disney stories? Do you want college stories? Do you want work stories from any of my previous jobs? What kind of stories would you like from Eric? What kind of tea would you like Eric to spill? Earl Grey?
Green tea?
I should have responded to that with a gif of myself literally spilling like physical tea out and just being like, All right, why?
There you go.
Take it literally. Just literally spilled tea. Like, all right, that was fun. I could have drank that, but all right. Hope you're happy. I don't know what kind of tea people want me to spill. Whatever. Spill some tea. Okay. I legitimately don't know what kind of tea to spill. We're out of time anyway, so I can't spill nothing this week, but maybe next week we'll spill some tea. I don't fucking know.
We have to find some tea now.
Okay, well maybe we'll make that a homework assignment for the listeners, the viewers. Ask some questions in the comments about on YouTube here. We'll not be on Twitch anymore, so you have to go to YouTube now. I don't know. Ask some questions. Is something you really want to know? Like, you want us to like shoot on something or whatever? I don't know. I think that's just one of those things. Like, the whole concept of gossiping can actually be amusing depending on what you're gossiping about. But like, I can't just improv that off the top of my head. So I need a direction to go in. Like, what kind of tea do you want me to spill? Do you want me to tell a funny story? I can tell it, but I need to know what direction we need to go in here. Because if you just say, tell some funny stories from high school, I can do that. I can come up with some. I got to think about it for a minute, because that was a long time ago, but I can think of some funny stories that happened in high school. But, like, I need direction. I'm sorry, guys. You can't hit me with the vague stuff sometimes. You gotta direct me. So, to recap, CKCC Radio will no longer have me. I'm just the owner of it. But I'll have my own channel for all of my stuff, so have fun with that. Lots and lots of cat action on this week's show. Hi!
Did you hear that?
Oh, yeah. I heard that. So, a lot of cat action on this week's show. This is going up on YouTube completely unedited, including the part where my audio sucked for 5 minutes. So I do apologize for that. Yeah, the trip's coming up. Among Us next Saturday night. Check it out. Please check it out. My trip's coming up after that. So, no Chris and Eric, at least for 1 week. So cute. I love your other cat just watching you from the back, like, just staring down, like, that one's getting attention and I'm not. Lily does that shit. Lily will watch you pet Perry and just look and be like...
Do you see her face?
Oh, I see her. I can't miss her.
Like,
it's so cute. It's so cute.
Oh, God.
Hi.
Whatever.
It's fine. It's fine. I saw tail. Mine are just gone. So, yeah, so Podcats is doing very well right now, so thanks. Eric and I are going to be playing some Legend of Zelda coming soon. We're gonna dual play that. I think the idea is like one of us will play for a little bit and then we'll switch off to the other person. Because you can kind of do that. I can probably just send you my save file. And you
I
can
was
just
thinking
pick
about
up.
that. I didn't know how that was going to happen.
Probably would work that way, yeah. But like, it's going to be that'll be fun. Just Zelda. Just Zelda.
I wonder, like, I don't know how good it would be using Discord, but like, yeah, did you ever use the screen share feature? I wonder, like,
we can do it on here. We can do it on here, and it would actually be okay. So,
the screen share?
Yeah.
Like, will I have access to your?
Yeah. I can do that. Okay. I can do that easily. I think we tested it, didn't we? Yeah, we did. We tested it with another game, and it worked. So.
Yeah, no, I meant like I can control your computer from here with my keyboard and mouse. And stuff like
that. We'll experiment with that.
Yeah,
we'll
have to figure that out.
Yeah. November 5th, Extra Life Day, 8-hour stream, 3 to 11. Please watch. You don't have to watch for the whole 8 hours, but pop in, say hi, and make a donation. $5. Honestly, every little bit helps. There might be some multiplayer madness that Saturday, by the way. So if enough people show up, there could be some Fall Guys or Among Us happening. So just be prepared for a lot of screaming. And I will... It's for the kids, but the language will not be kid-friendly. I'll just tell you that right now. And I'm making my return to pro wrestling Friday, October 21st here in Lancaster. So if you're local and you want to go, let me know. I'll get you a ticket. But yes, Eric, anything you want to add? Subtract?
Be excellent to one another.
You're not going to hype Sick Minds?
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, we recorded 6 9 yesterday, so I think he uploaded it either yesterday
It's up now.
or
It's up
it
now.
is? Okay,
Yep.
yeah. So, we found our little niche. We're basically reviewing games as we play through them. So we have a lot of JRPGs, and we're currently on Tales of Arise, and we discussed the first like 2 major bosses up until the first 2 major bosses, and that's how we're gonna like break it down. So
Okay.
we're gonna try to be on around the same part as we play, and just kind of give our thoughts on it.
There you go. All right. So you guys check that out right here on YouTube. Just search for Sick Minds of Matt and Eric. Wherever you search for YouTube, whether you're using the app or browser or whatever. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff happening. We'll be back next week with another show before I go on vacation. And if you guys want to spill some tea, if you want some life advice from Eric, this is the time to ask. He's been dying to do this since we started podcasting, and nobody's come through yet, and I'm very disappointed. So somebody ask him some advice. But yes, we'll be back here live next Sunday night at 7 p.m. If there's any changes, we'll let you know. And keep checking out Twitch all week long for more streams. And now, Eric, if you would.
Be excellent to one another.